Hey you guys, today is not a tarot reading video, but this is a video just kind of talking about mental illness. I don't know, I just felt like doing a video about that today. It was kind of triggered by something I saw on TV. I was watching a TV show and I found out that a contestant had killed themselves, and it just made me feel so bad, thinking how when you get to that point where you just feel like you can't take your current situation anymore, like when you reach a point where you feel like you've run out of options. And it just really made me feel just my heart just went out to that person. It's been years ago. I didn't even know this person had taken their lives, and then it made me think back to the recent video that I just did, when I made light of the person coming into your life could have some sort of mental disorder. And I kind of laughed about it. And I just kind of wanted to explain why, although I know I can't. First of all, I can't please everybody in what I have to say. People are going to get offended at something at some point, and I don't really take it back, because maybe I feel like one of those situations where it's kind of like take one and know one, or I get a right to joke about it because I've gone through that. But what too I wanted to bring up was, as far as people who have mental disorders, I just kind of wanted to share a little bit of my personal experience of it. And kind of why I laughed when I pulled those cards for it is because I did have a flashback to some of the experiences I've been through. And you know how some people do things in a way the way they cope with things. That's kind of what that was, just kind of laugh to keep from crying type energy. And then two, maybe I have not experienced being with someone who had severe mental issues. I can call a couple of exes insane or crazy all day long. There have been times I've really looked at them like, you are insane, something's wrong with you. But I've been through moments too where I had to look in the mirror like, girl, you a nutcase. What is wrong with you? So, and then just not with that, but as far as literally, as far as suffering from anxiety, it's way better now, but it was kind of triggered by the spiritual awakening. I didn't know what anxiety was before that. I would hear about it. It was okay, I hear about anxiety. I've heard about it all my life. And I remember one time, a friend even confessed to me in private that she suffered from anxiety. And I was just thinking okay, I didn't know why she felt the need to share that with me. But now I know why. Maybe she thought in her mind that she came off distant or weird, or I don't know. But I just remember when she told me that, I just remember it just wasn't really clicking like I had heard of anxiety. And then I know people's anxieties are kind of different. It depends. But when I had that spiritual awakening, it was just my form of anxiety was about death. I'm not afraid to die, but I was afraid of how it would happen, or just more so it was a fear of, it was like a shadow. I can't really explain it, except it felt like a dark shadow over me. And it took a long time, it felt like forever. Actually, that whole dark night of the soul it was really only like 6 or 7 months. But it just felt like an eternity, like going through that, because I'd never experienced anything like that before. And it was like feeling like I would wake up in the middle of the night, because I used to live on a corner, and I would on the first floor, and I would always kind of like wake up in the middle of the night thinking that a car was getting ready to crash through my wall, and I would die, or thinking that a stray bullet was going to fly through my window, and just random fears out of nowhere. I used to be really upset. Like, I used to do a lot of favors for my family, and I would be really, really upset when they would ask me to like run errands, because I was thinking in my mind, like, they're putting me in danger. Like, I have to get on the street and drive, and I'm going to get in a car accident. It's going to be their fault. It would be like, it was just this cloud, just kept thinking like, you could die any minute. It was just bad. And I just remember there were times where, especially this one time in particular, I just woke up one morning and started calling everybody like, yeah, I need you to know that I love you. And if anything happens to me, here's my bank account information and this and that. It was just, I was calling my best friend. I was calling my mom, like writing things to my children in my journal. And because I really was just like, okay, today is the day. It's happening. It's happening. And it took a long time to just kind of say, hey, that's not real. Like, stop it. Stop thinking that. What is wrong with you? And it was a bit of depression, but it was always like doom. And I didn't want to get like help for it. Eventually I did get like, go see someone like about it like one time. And I remember being upset too that the doctor had sent me so far away, because again, I was just like, this is so risky. Like, I could get into a car wreck going here. I don't want to go here. That's too far away. I'd just rather go someplace and take the side streets. I don't want to get on the expressway, And I did end up going and talking about it to a counselor I guess she was psychologist. But it's like, after that, it seemed like everything just started subsiding. It started going away. Like, even though I only went that one time, and then I didn't want to go anymore. And after that, it was more so like self-help, like journaling and talking to myself. And the other thing I was getting ready to say too, is about, I'm not advocating suicide, but all my life I had been like, oh, people who commit suicide, they're selfish. They're not thinking about anybody but themselves. And you don't really understand that feeling until your mind goes there. Like, for me, it wasn't like I'm going to kill myself, but it was just like, I just want to die. But it was sad, because people would be like, oh, but you have your children to live for. And I had like a complete disconnect from, I didn't care. It was just like, oh, well, it was just like like this empty void of who cares? Like, I really just felt like I did not care. It was like, you're lost. Too bad. I didn't have any emotions thinking about how people would feel. It was just like, they'll get over it. It was just, I didn't have any emotion. And as I began to heal, it was like, I felt like, is that what that is, when people who want to do that take their lives, like they have no emotions, it's got to be like that. Like you completely disconnect. And those of you too that study astrology, like this is part of the reasons why I got into astrology, to try to figure out what was happening with me. It started off with love, and then when the love part wasn't working out, and then it started going into depression, I was just like looking more and more and more into astrology, trying to figure out what was wrong with me, what was I going through. And so I forgot what point I was trying to make. Oh, in astrology, I think having something to do with Ketu, or the South Node, has something to do with that moment of disconnect or something. I don't know. I still have not re-evaluated, that time period for what transits were happening. But when I moved on from it, it still would come and go throughout the years. It still comes now, but it's just like, stop it. It's like I have to get a hold of it. Like, that's not real. Those thoughts aren't real. Stop it. But for a while, it took me a minute to just kind of move past those feelings of today you die. So that's my anxiety. I don't know what other forms of anxiety other people may have gone through, but I know it is an unknown fear. It is something that is illogical, and that's why, in a way, I was saying I could joke about it because I've been through it. But my intent, though, is never to offend anyone with any of the things that I say in the readings. Sometimes people think I talk too harshly about certain things, and I apologize if I've ever offended anyone, but I just know that my intent is never to hurt or make anyone feel bad about their situation or, people in their lives. That's never my intent. So I don't know why I made this video. I don't even know if I'll release it. If I do, then hey, that means that you're watching it and I've released it. But maybe it was just something I just had to get out and put out there. Okay, so I am done rambling. That was just some talk that I felt the need to purge. All right, you guys. I will talk to you later. Bye.